Imagine this, you're sitting comfortably in your living room watching your favorite show, and without even realizing it, your television is watching you back. Not with eyes, of course, but with silent sensors, hidden settings, and apps quietly collecting data today. Technology is smarter than ever, and that sounds convenient, but for seniors, it can also mean one thing: constant monitoring, often without consent or awareness. Why should this matter? Because privacy is not just a digital issue, it's a health issue. Research shows that when people feel watched, it raises stress levels, disrupts sleep, and even affects memory and blood pressure. For older adults, protecting peace of mind is as important as protecting physical health. Further, moving on to the video, it's a humble request to like, subscribe the video, and also give your response in the comment section, which part you liked, and where I am wrong. So, how does this hidden monitoring happen? Let's uncover a few surprising ways. Smart TV, many track what you watch, when you watch, and even listen for voice commands. That information is sold to advertisers. Smartphones and tablets, apps that look harmless, like games or health trackers, often collect location, contacts, and browsing habits. Wearables, smartwatches and fitness trackers can record heart rate, sleep patterns, and activity, then share that data with third parties. Voice assistants, devices that respond to Hey Siri or Alexa, are always listening for that wake word, but sometimes record more than they should. Wi-Fi routers, even your home internet can reveal who's online, how often, and what's being accessed. The good news, there are simple steps to protect privacy without giving up the benefits of modern technology. Check device settings, turn off data sharing options you don't need. Use strong passwords and never reuse them across devices. Limit app permissions, don't give a flashlight app access to your microphone. Update regularly, security patches close the door on hackers. Unplug or mute devices, especially smart speakers, when not in use. Technology should serve us, not spy on us. By making a few small changes, seniors can enjoy the comfort and connection of smart devices, without sacrificing dignity, privacy, or peace of mind. So the next time you turn on your TV or speak to your phone, remember, you're in control of your digital health, and protecting that is just as important as protecting your physical health. Smart TV are often advertised as a convenient modern upgrade to traditional television, but behind their sleek design and voice-controlled features lies a hidden reality many seniors are not aware of. These devices silently track viewing habits. At first, this might not seem like a problem. After all, watching television feels like a private, everyday activity. But in the digital age, even the shows you watch, the time you spend watching them, and how often you use certain apps on your TV become valuable pieces of data. Every time you turn on a smart TV, it begins collecting information. This includes the channels or streaming services you prefer, the genres of shows and movies you gravitate toward, and even the times of day you are most likely to be watching. This type of data collection is called automated content recognition, and it runs quietly in the background. The technology scans what's on your screen and sends that information back to manufacturers and third-party advertisers. They, in turn, use this data to build a profile of your preferences. That profile is then used to target you with specific commercials, product recommendations, and even political messages. For seniors, the concern goes beyond advertising. Habits can give away subtle details about lifestyle and routine. If you usually watch TV late into the night, it may signal sleep disturbances, which are common in older adults. If you spend most of your time on health-related programs or channels, advertisers may assume you have specific medical conditions and begin targeting products related to those conditions. In some cases, these assumptions can be inaccurate, but the effect remains the same. Your private behavior inside your home is being turned into data without your full awareness. Medical research has shown that privacy plays a significant role in mental well-being. Older adults, who may already be dealing with changes in independence, knowing, or even suspecting, that a device in their home is monitoring them can contribute to feelings of anxiety or stress. This is not just an emotional concern. Stress hormones like cortisol, when elevated over time, can negatively affect memory, immune function, and blood pressure. In short, what feels like harmless data tracking may have indirect consequences on health by creating a sense of being constantly observed. The issue is made more complicated because smart TV often come with preset permissions that favor data collection. Many seniors may not go through the long list of privacy settings during setup, either because the process is confusing or because they don't realize what those settings control. As a result, most people unknowingly agree to share far more personal information than they ever intended. Manufacturers and app developers count on this, designing systems that prioritize convenience over clarity. Another hidden layer of monitoring comes from the built-in microphones and cameras in some smart TV. Voice command features, for example, require the TV to be always listening for certain trigger words. While manufacturers insist these features only record after the wake word is detected, there have been documented cases of accidental recordings being sent to servers. For seniors who value privacy in their homes, this possibility can feel like a serious intrusion. Apps are designed to make life easier, from checking the weather to playing games, tracking health, or keeping in touch with family, but many of them collect far more information than they actually need to function. For seniors, this can be especially concerning because the phone or tablet often becomes a primary tool for staying connected, entertained, and informed. While installing a simple app might feel harmless, what happens in the background is a steady stream of personal data being gathered, stored, and often sold. When an app is downloaded, it usually requests permissions before use. These permissions might include access to the camera, microphone, location, contacts, or even browsing history. The problem is that many apps ask for permissions that have nothing to do with their purpose. For example, a flashlight app does not need to know a person's location, yet many of them request it. A game app does not need access to the microphone, but it might still ask for it. Seniors, who often just want the app to work quickly, may press allow, without realizing that these permissions open the door for ongoing data collection. Once granted, these permissions allow apps to track behavior in surprising detail. Location tracking, for instance, can reveal when a person leaves home, how often they travel to medical appointments, or whether they attend religious services. This data is valuable to marketers who can target ads based on patterns of movement. but it can also create security risks. Knowing someone's routine could make them more vulnerable to scams or unwanted attention. Similarly, apps that access contacts can map out entire social circles, meaning that a senior's decision to allow an app can inadvertently expose their friends and family too. Medical reasoning adds another layer of concern. The constant stream of notifications and subtle tracking can cause cognitive overload, particularly in older adults who may already struggle with attention or memory. Studies have shown that frequent interruptions from devices can increase stress and reduce concentration, which may accelerate age-related cognitive changes. In addition, when apps track health data, such as step counts, sleep patterns, or medication reminders, that information may be shared with third parties. While this seems useful on the surface, it can lead to targeted marketing of medical products or supplements, exploiting health concerns rather than supporting well-being. Even free apps come with hidden costs. They may not charge money, but they make profit through data collection and advertisements. Seniors, who often gravitate toward free versions to avoid unnecessary spending, may not realize that the trade-off is continuous monitoring. It can be particularly dangerous if the apps are poorly secured, leaving sensitive information open to hackers. Cybercriminals look for exactly these vulnerabilities, and seniors are frequently targeted because they are perceived as less tech-savvy. The design of apps also plays a role. Many use bright colors, pop-up notifications, and persuasive language to encourage more engagement. This is not accidental. It is part of a psychological design called persuasive technology, which aims to keep users interacting longer. For older adults, prolonged screen time can disrupt sleep cycles, strain vision, and even contribute to social isolation if it replaces real-world connections. What appears to be a simple game or utility tool may, in practice, become a constant drain on both privacy and health.
Wearable devices like smartwatches, fitness trackers, and even health monitoring bands are marketed as tools to improve well-being. But what many seniors do not realize is that these devices collect a constant stream of personal health information that often goes far beyond what the user expects. The sensors built into wearables are capable of measuring heart rate, step counts, sleep cycles, oxygen levels, and in some cases even stress levels. This seems beneficial on the surface because seniors can track their activity and detect irregularities, yet the reality is that much of this data does not stay private. It is usually uploaded to apps and cloud services where it can be analyzed, stored, and sometimes shared with third parties. Health data is one of the most sensitive types of personal information because it provides direct insight into an individual's physical condition. For seniors, the data collected by wearables may reflect issues like irregular heart rhythms, poor sleep quality, or reduced mobility. When such information is shared with companies or advertisers, it can create a profile that labels the user as someone with certain health risks. This opens the door for targeted advertising of medical devices, supplements, or insurance products. While it may appear harmless, it essentially means that private medical patterns are being turned into marketing opportunities without informed consent. The medical reasoning behind this concern is clear. Stressing the body with constant monitoring can create a subtle psychological pressure. Knowing that every step, every heartbeat, and every night of sleep is being recorded can increase anxiety, particularly for older adults who may already worry about their health. Instead of empowering them, the wearable becomes a source of constant reminder that something might be wrong. Chronic anxiety is known to increase blood pressure, reduce immune system efficiency, and negatively affect cardiovascular health, making the act of constant monitoring counterproductive in some cases. Another problem lies in the accuracy of the data. Wearables are not medical devices, yet they often present themselves as reliable health tools. A smartwatch that reports poor sleep or unusual heart rates may cause unnecessary concern, leading seniors to worry about conditions they may not even have. Conversely, inaccurate readings may overlook real problems, giving a false sense of security. Either scenario can affect decision-making, sometimes causing people to delay professional medical advice, or, on the other hand, seek unnecessary care. This back and forth stress can lead to both financial strain and emotional exhaustion. The security of wearable data is also an important issue. Because the information is typically synced to an app or stored online, it becomes vulnerable to hacking. Cybercriminals who gain access to this data can exploit it for identity theft, especially when health records are combined with personal details like names, emails, or addresses. For seniors, This risk is heightened because they are often less aware of how data travels between devices and may not use protective measures like two-factor authentication. The value of health-related data on black markets is extremely high, making seniors an appealing target. Beyond health data, wearables often track location as part of their fitness features. GPS-enabled watches can map daily walks, driving routes, or trips outside the home. While this may feel like a helpful tool for exercise, it also creates a detailed record of personal movement. For older adults living alone, such information could reveal vulnerable routines, such as the times when they are usually away from home. What looks like a harmless exercise map can, in the wrong hands, become sensitive intelligence about daily habits and potential weaknesses. Voice assistants such as Alexa, Siri, and Google Assistant are marketed as friendly helpers, ready to answer questions, play music, or set reminders with a simple command. For seniors, these devices often feel like a convenient companion, especially for those who may struggle with small buttons, complicated menus, or remembering tasks. Yet the way these assistants work requires them to be constantly alert, which means the microphone is always listening for a wake word. While companies assure users that nothing is recorded until that word is spoken, real-world tests and reports have shown that accidental recordings and unintended activations happen more often than most people realize. When a device mishears a sound as the wake word, it can begin recording the following conversation and send it to servers for processing. These snippets can include background discussions, personal details, or even medical conversations happening nearby. For seniors who may regularly speak about prescriptions, doctor appointments, or financial matters within earshot of these devices, the idea that fragments of those conversations could be stored elsewhere raises serious concerns. In some cases, employees or contractors at technology companies have been tasked with reviewing recordings to improve accuracy, adding yet another layer of exposure to private information. The psychological effect of knowing or suspecting that a device might be recording can lead to subtle but real stress. For older adults, especially those who value privacy and independence, the presence of an always listening device can create feelings of intrusion. From a medical standpoint, this low-level stress activates the body's fight response, which increases cortisol levels. Over time, elevated cortisol has been linked to weakened immune responses, impaired memory, and higher blood pressure. What seems like a harmless digital helper can, therefore, contribute indirectly to health concerns through the pressure of being constantly monitored. Another concern is the way voice assistants collect data to personalize responses. They store patterns such as frequently asked questions, preferred music, or even reminders for medications. This information is not only saved, but also used to build a digital profile of the user. Seniors who rely on reminders to manage medication schedules, for example, may inadvertently provide clues about their health conditions. That data can be shared with third parties, who may then target advertisements related to those conditions. The result is a system where private health details, daily habits, and even moods are monetized without clear consent. Security vulnerabilities add further risk. Hackers have found ways to exploit voice assistants, sometimes using recorded or synthetic voices to trick the system into giving access to personal information. For seniors who may store contacts, shopping lists, or calendars in their assistant, such intrusions can expose sensitive data or create opportunities for scam. Even the integration of voice assistants with smart home devices, such as lights or locks, introduces potential weaknesses where unauthorized access could compromise physical security. There is also the issue of dependence. Seniors who grow accustomed to relying on voice assistants for simple tasks may unintentionally give up skills that keep the brain active, such as remembering appointments, dialing phone numbers, or making lists. While convenience is valuable, studies have shown that regular cognitive challenges help slow age-related memory decline. Outsourcing too many small daily activities to a device may gradually reduce these natural mental exercises, contributing to cognitive decline over time. Wi-Fi routers are often thought of as simple boxes that connect devices to the internet, but in reality, they function as powerful gateways that reveal a great deal about daily life. Every smartphone, tablet, television, or computer that connects to a home network leaves a trail of digital activity, and the router keeps a record of it. For seniors, this can feel invisible because the router sits quietly in the corner of a room, never drawing attention to itself. Yet it silently tracks when devices connect, how often they are used, and what type of content is being accessed. This information can be analyzed to build a detailed picture of daily habits and routines. One of the most significant concerns is that routers can reveal patterns of online activity. For example, if a senior spends long periods searching for health information, that activity becomes part of the day profile. If they stream religious services on specific days and times, that pattern can be identified as well. Even something as simple as the regular use of online shopping sites can create a portrait of spending habits and personal preferences. This data may not seem harmful at first, but when collected and sold to advertisers or third parties, it can shape how products, services, or even scams are targeted. From a medical reasoning perspective, the exposure of such habits can indirectly affect well-being. Seniors who often search for health-related topics may be bombarded with ads for supplements or treatments that are unnecessary or misleading. Constant exposure to these messages can lead to stress, confusion, or even risky decisions about health management. In addition, knowing that activity is being tracked, even if only subconsciously, can create unease. This feeling of being observed has been linked in research to increased anxiety, elevated cortisol levels, and disturbed sleep, all of which contribute to weakened immune function and greater vulnerability to illness. Security vulnerabilities in routers add another layer of risk. Many seniors use the default passwords provided by internet service providers, unaware that these are often weak and easily exploited by hackers. Once a router is compromised, an intruder can monitor all internet traffic flowing through it. This could include sensitive details like banking logins, personal emails, or medical information exchanged through patient portals. The threat is not just theoretical. Cyber criminals actively target routers because they provide a central point of access to every connected device in a home. For seniors who may not regularly update firmware or change passwords, this creates a hidden but serious vulnerability. The router also provides information about presence in the home. By monitoring when devices connect and disconnect, patterns of activity can show when someone is usually at home and when they are not. For example, if a tablet always disconnects around the same time in the evening, it may suggest bedtime routines. If devices consistently go offline during certain hours of the day, it could signal that the resident is away. In the wrong hands, this type of information could be used to predict daily schedules, potentially compromising physical safety as well as digital security. Another overlooked factor is the increasing trend of smart home devices that connect through the router. Items like smart thermostats, cameras, or doorbells generate constant streams of data, all of which pass through the same network. Each device adds another piece to the puzzle of daily life, creating a broader and more detailed profile of routine. Seniors who adopt these technologies for convenience may not realize that the router is acting as the hub through which all of this data flows, making it an especially rich source of information for those who seek to exploit it. Privacy settings on devices often sound like small technical details, but in reality, they are powerful tools that can restore a sense of control. Most smart devices and apps are built to collect as much information as possible by default because the companies behind them profit from that data. This means that unless a user actively goes into the settings and makes changes, the device will continue sharing information in the background. For seniors who may not always feel comfortable navigating menus or technical options, this creates a situation where their private data is exposed far more than necessary. Learning to adjust these settings is one of the simplest yet most effective ways to reduce unwanted monitoring. When devices are first set up, they usually present a long list of agreements and permissions. Most people, eager to get started, quickly click Accept without reading the fine print. Hidden in those agreements are permissions that allow location tracking, microphone access, or the sharing of usage data with advertisers. By later going into the privacy or security menu, many of these permissions can be turned off. For example, a smart TV may have an option to disable automated content recognition, which prevents it from tracking everything watched on the screen. Similarly, smartphones allow users to deny apps access to location services unless it is absolutely necessary. From a health standpoint, reducing unnecessary tracking helps lower stress. Studies have shown that feeling constantly monitored, even digitally, can increase levels of anxiety and interfere with sleep quality. For seniors, restful sleep is particularly important, since poor sleep is linked to memory decline, weakened immunity, and cardiovascular problems. Adjusting privacy settings is not only about protecting digital information, but also about protecting mental and physical well-being by reducing that invisible pressure of surveillance. Password protection is another essential part of privacy. Many devices come with default passwords that are easy to guess, and leaving them unchanged is one of the most common mistakes people make. Creating unique, strong passwords for each device and app prevents unauthorized access and keeps personal information safer. Some devices also offer two-factor authentication, which means a second confirmation is required before logging in. This extra step may feel inconvenient at first, but for seniors it adds a valuable layer of security against hackers or scammers who might otherwise exploit weak defenses. Regular updates are also part of privacy protection. Manufacturers release updates to patch security flaws, but if a device is not updated, it remains vulnerable. Seniors who skip these updates, often because they find them disruptive or confusing, may unintentionally leave their devices open to monitoring or intrusion. By turning on automatic updates in the settings, much of this risk is eliminated without the need for constant manual attention. Another important adjustment is limiting background data collection. Many apps continue to run in the background even when not in use, silently collecting location information or usage habits. Going into the settings to restrict background activity not only protects privacy, but can also improve battery life and reduce data usage. Seniors benefit from this both in terms of security and convenience, since it makes devices run more efficiently. Even small actions like muting microphones or disabling cameras when not in use can make a significant difference. Most smart speakers, for example, include a physical mute button that prevents the device from listening until it is turned back on. Covering unused cameras or turning off features that are rarely needed ensures that devices are not collecting information unnecessarily. These simple adjustments reinforce the idea that technology should serve the user rather than silently watching them. If this video opened your eyes to the surprising ways technology is monitoring seniors and how you can protect your privacy, Make sure to hit that like button so more people can find this important information. Don't forget to subscribe for more simple, clear tips on staying safe in today's digital world, and leave a comment below to share your thoughts or your own experiences with smart devices. Your voice matters, and together we can build a safer, more private future for everyone.